We started production on Mount Nemrud in August of 2000, but 2 months before, in June of the year 2000, we took a scouting trip to eastern Turkey, where the monuments and the statues of the kingdom of Kommagene, which was responsible for the monuments on Mount Nemrud, are scattered all around. We first started with the city of Zegma, as we see here, before it was engulfed by the water of the dam in eastern Turkey. Zegma was a city of the Kommagene kingdom, so we wanted to shoot there as well. Mount Nemrud is a very fascinating place because it is 7,700 feet above sea level and contains colossal statues on a western and eastern terrace separated by a very high tumulus made of loose rock. Scholars have been doing research and excavations on Mount Nemrud since 1890s, and they have unearthed a lot of monuments and inscriptions that illuminate the history of the Kommagene kingdom, which was a buffer state between the Roman Empire and the Parthian Empire in between 70 BC and 130 AD. We wanted to make a film that would be very interesting and exciting for an international as well as a Turkish audience. We wanted to make an archaeological discovery documentary. And we decided that reenactments and contemporary footage and 3D models and animations would be the best way to go. So we took our crew on location and we shot on top of Mount Nemrud for 15 days, and we shot another 15 days in the areas surrounding Mount Nemrud, because Kommagene Kingdom has a lot of monuments all around the area, a lot of inscriptions, a lot of reliefs, a lot of caves, a lot of castles all around the area, so we wanted to shoot all those. Our shooting lasted about 35 days. We also shot some statues and inscriptions in museums in Ankara and Istanbul. It was very difficult shooting on top of the mountain because it's so high, and during daytime it's very, very hot. So it's really hard to work there, and as soon as the sun sets, the temperatures really go down to -10 sometimes. So we shot in August, but on some nights we had to wear our sweaters and winter jackets and hats and gloves and everything. It was almost like winter time. Every day we had to go up on a 500-yard ramp, which was really, really difficult to climb because of the altitude and the elevation and all the loose rock on the terrain, which made it really difficult to walk. But as you see here, our crew really did a lot of sacrifices to enable us to shoot the best picture we could. We also had a lot of fun because a difficult shoot like this really unites the crew, and the location becomes your common enemy, so you really unite to conquer the location and the weather and the wind and the rain. So it was a very tight-knit crew. I really enjoyed with every single one of them. We were about 30 people in the technical crew, and we also had some actors come and go for the reenactment scenes. As you see here, it was very, very difficult to control the crane because of the wind. On our scouting trip, it was very calm on the summit, but when we came back in August, we had immense wind almost each day in and day out. So it was very difficult to control the camera, to keep it steady, to control the lights, to control the cranes. So we really had to work hard to get a steady picture. The nighttime was really difficult because of the cold, but it was very beautiful. When we lit up the monuments with our own lights, it became really, really surreal. And some of the villagers around the area, in the villages, when they saw our big lights illuminating the statues thought that ETs landed on the summit, so it sort of created a buzz and excitement around the villages in the area. It was very difficult to carry all the food and the water and the cokes and spice to the summit because, as I said, it was very difficult to climb up, so we used a lot of mules and donkeys to carry our stuff. And I think everybody lost a lot of weight during the shoot, except for a researcher who always gains weight on our shoots. This is a castle where we did a reenactment on that concerned the Roman army attacking the Kommagene kingdom and the Kommagenian soldiers defending their kingdom against the soldiers of Mark Antony of the Roman Empire. This is a contemporary village. Here our DP is scouting the location for the reenactment. I think shortly we'll see the soldiers climbing up the stairs. And we took a lot of safety precautions on this site because the castle has a lot of ditches and wells that are uncovered, so we took a lot of safety precautions so no member of the crew or the actors would fall into a ditch and hurt himself. This is a reenactment of the famous Kommagenian archers defending their castle and their kingdom against the Roman Empire. This is the castle of Gerger, and the relief there is sort of the founder of the Kommagene kingdom. It's about 15-16 feet, and as you see, I'm trying to crawl down because this was on a very, very high cliff, very dangerous, and I don't want to fall down. Interviews were very important for the film, and we tried to get our scholars on location and seat them in front of the statues and inscriptions and shoot the interviews on site. I think this creates a lot of good ambience for the audience, so they see the interviewees, the scholars, interact with the monument, and it also, as in this shot, gives us a scale on how big the statues actually are. And the scholars were very, very, very cooperative despite the heat and despite the difficult conditions, despite the climb to the mountain. And for some of them, it was a good opportunity to travel back to the site after many years of research. Hans Bachmann, for example, worked there between 1950 and 60, and he's so enamored with the site that it was exciting for me to see him become excited when he first climbed up the mountain. I also wanted to show the audience how the site looked 2,000 years ago. So we created a 3D model of the site. Actually, this was created by Donald Sanders and his crew in Boston. And then we later got the 3D model and we added the surrounding clouds and the mountains and the terrain and sort of did the animation. I think this sort of added a lot to the film. At least it gave the audience a chance to see how the monument actually looked and how the king who had the monument built envisioned the monument, and you see all the god statues there. In the film we used a composite shot. Actually we used two composite shots to sort of, as you see, multiply the armies of Mark Antony. We had 30 actors in full costume and Roman gear, and we composited them back to back to create the illusion of a big Roman army attacking the Kommagene kingdom. We used an inferno system to do this. It obviously is much cheaper than actually having 2,000 actors in full Roman gear. So we just kept the camera steady and did multiple passes with the actors, and then we just downloaded everything into an inferno system and did a simple composite. Actually all these shots took about only a day to composite, and this technology is fairly used all over the place now in commercials and in features. I think it also added some to the dramatic scenes, at least to create the illusion of a grand army. Because you don't get to see this all that often in documentaries. You get to see it in feature films, but not in documentaries. Mount Nemrud, I believe needs to be protected as soon as possible. As you see, both Turkish and foreign tourists do not respect the site and the statues and the reliefs, and they really get a chance to interact with the monuments, and they wipe their hands, they put their faces. Some Turkish villagers also actually do shooting practices on the monuments, so this really hurts the monuments, and that's why I think the international community immediately has to take charge and protect the monuments and place it under conservation and stop the interaction of tourists with the monuments. They should not be allowed to touch the monuments, touch the statues, touch the reliefs, or do any kind of damage to them. And I think that this should be done as soon as possible, and I hope our film is a small step towards this goal.